Make sure your body's comfortable. Check in with your nervous system and see if you can self-regulate a little bit more. Are you completely relaxed, but not falling asleep relaxed? Are you completely relaxed? Can there be more calmness in your nervous system? This is a place where identification with drama can happen. When we don't have enough distance from our nervous system as a thing, if it's anyway triggered or in story or in fight or flight or challenged or feeling unsafe, it's going to pull us in. It's going to pull us into identification with our body. It's going to pull us in to story, to defending ourselves. So the more we can get familiar with, like, can I downregulate? Could it be calmer on the inside there? Your actual nervous system, your physiology, then you're not identified with your body. Like if you can see your nervous system from a distance, it almost always, I'm very wary about saying never, because I usually end up having to qualify that. So it almost always makes sure that arrives you in a place of where you're not identified with your body, if you have distance from your nervous system. Let it be at ease. Feel safe. Feel relaxed. And if you can build that into your day, oh, could my nervous system be more relaxed? Not to put a lid on it. Not to, let's drop it into the silence and that anxiety will disappear. Let's leave space for it and see if you can address that need for regulation. Stay with it. Addressing what's going on for us in our humanness on the level of humanness is what prepares us for an embodied awakening. Otherwise, we just awaken in our heads at a conceptual level, and it's never fully here. And however calm your nervous system can be right now, great. Let that be there. How's your mind doing? Is it whirring? Is it busy? Is it running a memory? Are you present? Are you present? Emotionally, don't change anything. Just notice what might be going on. You've probably often come up with, be content. If your emotional system can be familiar with being content, it really helps. Your mind uses your emotions to drum up a belief and drama in the personal I. And if we can not suppress our emotions, but orient it towards being content, we train it to rest in a healthy place. So if we look at these parts that create our human expression, which is not a problem, except it creates a lot of suffering if we believe that that's the only thing that's going on. That's when it creates a lot of suffering. I want to draw your attention to one specific thing right now. It's the nature of our mind and emotions and nervous system to be moving and changing and organizing and going for better. What's better? There's nothing wrong with that because it helps us to change, to evolve, to engage, to want to improve. So the movement itself is not a problem, but there's something in there that's worth highlighting. When we're identified with this mechanism that keeps on moving, human expression, that's all about participating, engaging and distracting ourselves, and this human expression, if you're identified with it, if it's the only thing that's going on in your awareness in any moment, there's probably going to be an underlying dissatisfaction. It's happy for a while, but it often goes back to dissatisfaction, which is what kind of propels it into the next movement or the next thing or the last thing or a story. If you can dial into recognizing, do you know that feeling? Do you know that feeling of being dissatisfied that happens in your mind, nervous system, emotions? Are all three kind of in on the game? How does being dissatisfied show up for you? What I'd like to introduce to you is that feeling of dissatisfaction is a particular thing. When we are identified with it, it's kind of crappy. If we can see that it's a particular thing from a distance, it can be there just like anything else can be there. So I'm inviting you to see how does being dissatisfied show up for me? And if it's like, actually, I am content, I am. Just double check. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because we all get phases of where life is smooth, you know, for a while, until it's not. What's the go-to experience of being dissatisfied? Because this is a really potent state that creates identification. And I want you to allow space for, oh yeah, that's the part of me that's always dissatisfied. I want you to notice it from a distance. That's a chunk that I want you to take away with you, and don't forget about it because it's kind of important. Here is why I'm talking about it. So many folks, and it will be some of you when I look at the names here today, have recognized the truth, know the nature of your being. Like the truth is there, sitting there. You can access it at will. Some of you are there all the time, and very rarely you get triggered out. And it becomes like the stable place that you're looking from. And the stories and the participation in life happens within your purview, but you're not stuck in the identification. What I've noticed is that so many people haven't seen through the dissatisfaction aspect that's built into our humanness, unless we retrain it to be content, which usually sticks. When the dissatisfaction is not really seen from a distance, even when you're awake, you will feel that it's not enough. You will feel dissatisfied with it. And it stops you from recognizing and resting in the wakefulness. I've really noticed over the years, it's like, but they're there. I can feel them in pure awareness. I can feel that the person I'm speaking to is there. And why is there an idea that but it's disappointing in some way. And that is what I think goes on for so many people, is that the dissatisfaction part comes with you. It's not seen at enough of a distance, whereby the raw experience of pure awareness is completely separate from the physiological experience of being just mildly dissatisfied with everything. And it gets projected onto the awakened experience. Part of it is because our mind comes with us to that degree because we have an idea of what the awakened experience is. And of course, your mind can't go there. And so it's not going to be what your mind says it is. And most of you will know, no, it's not what my mind wanted to believe or did believe that it was. And while we see through, yeah, the real experience is very different because my mind had its own idea, but the real experience is very different. But what I've noticed is happening is that the dissatisfaction of life part, the underbelly of that idea comes too. So I'm going to drop us in, and I want you to be very mindful of the part of your mind that has expectations about dropping in, and underneath that, the part of your mind that isn't really happy with anything, has this underlying angst, might be very subtle, might be very loud. It's not a problem. It's a problem if you take that with you and if you're still connected to that experience. What I want you to do is to recognize that, oh, there's that. That's what mind does. And that feels shitty when I'm identified with that, because nothing is okay. Nothing's really settled. So I want you to see it that as a quality, an attribute of ongoing change and growth, motivating you to participate, to learn, to grow, to evolve as a human being. It's perfectly fine. Doesn't belong in pure awareness. It doesn't. It doesn't. How's your nervous system doing now? Is it the same as it was? Is it as dialed down as it was 5 minutes ago? Or did it crank up a little bit? Your mind probably would have cranked up a little bit because I'm talking about concepts. And so let's put some soothing balm and ease on your nervous system. And some care and love for your body. And pull back from your beautiful mind. See any thoughts, see the comprehensing mechanism that is placing meaning and interpreting my words in a way that works for you. Get a little bit of distance from that mechanism. It's a beautiful tool, and you can see it from a distance. Let there be love for your beautiful body, mind, nervous system mechanism. Unconditional compassion. Like a deeper place within you has its arms around your body-mind mechanism. Don't fall asleep. Gentleness towards your beautiful human expression. And where that love and that objectivity, where you can see your body-mind mechanism, let's turn our attention more towards where that viewpoint is coming from. Melt into whatever wider view is able to see you as a unit, as a human being, and melt into where that viewpoint is coming from. Withdraw your attention deeper into where looking is coming from. I'm going to suggest 2 viewpoints, and I want you to be able to sense which one feels more right for you right now. There's no right or wrong. I'm encouraging you to have skills to recognize different levels of consciousness within you. So that zone that sees you and has compassion for you, it's probably a bit more spacious because it's wider, because your body-mind mechanism is a smaller part and it can hold its arms around you. It's holding you. So by virtue of that fact, it has this feeling of being bigger, vast, or more spacious. And so here's the question. See which one resonates more for you. Right now, am I aware of that more spacious place that sees the beautiful me? Or am I that spaciousness that sees and loves the beautiful me? No right or wrong. I want you to feel into both and be able to recognize, yeah, it's more that one. So here they are again. Right now, am I aware of that spaciousness that has the capacity to hold and love my humanness? Am I aware of it? And I'm simply aware of it. Or am I that spacious awareness? Is that more authentically what I really am? That spacious awareness that's holding and supporting my human self. Am I aware of it, or am I it? And if you're saying both are true, I want you to recognize which one precedes the other, which one is a refinement of the other. Don't fall asleep. Am I aware of that spaciousness? Am I aware of it? And it's more authentically what I am rather than this human person. It's more the essence, the core of what I am. Or it's what I am. I only pretend to be the other one when my human mind turns on. It's what I am. If anybody's ready for deeper than the non-dual, that spacious awareness, can it be without identity? Is the quality and experience of that spaciousness, that wider view, is the quality of that untouched? If there is no identification with me as a person, no identification with me having true nature, that is this spacious awareness, no identification, period. There is no identification at all. Does that resonate with you? Does that make sense? A complete removal, dissolving of every version of you. You as awareness, you as divine love, you as God, you as a human being. Can that identity thread dissolve? Can it be seen in front of you as a component of the matrix that creates this beautiful 3D world? And it has nothing to do with anything other than the movie. Identification is in the movie of consciousness. Is there a knowing? There never was a you. Is there a knowing? There really isn't pure awareness. Is there a knowing? Pure awareness, pure consciousness, true nature is also dependent on some semblance of identification. Can you see that? Stay where you are. I'm going to say something very phenomenal, and I deliberately am going to say something very phenomenal so that you don't go into story. Stay wherever you are. Let these words come and notice that your mind wants to go into meaning and story, and don't go there. So don't fall for the bait. When I say a chunk of people on this call are sound asleep. Some are nodding. Some have their face deeply embedded in their hands. Some are organizing their homes a little bit. Can you stay in the depths of consciousness and let those stories of the experience, the phenomenal experience of the company we're in? This is what we're doing together. Some of us can't stay awake. And so that phenomenal story about our experience right now on this Sunday, December the 11th, can that be there? And is there a knowing that even identification with pure awareness isn't? Is there a bandwidth for both? And the stories of separation be comprehended. And then there's that mid place of a felt non-dual experience in your body, a felt sense of spaciousness in your body. And is there a knowing that identification includes I am pure awareness, and that identification has its limit? Like deeper than the concept of infinite is what I'm talking about. Deeper than the concept of vast, unlimited, unconditional. Deeper than those concepts. Prior to those concepts, maybe. How do you do with those three layers? And where right now is the habit of being dissatisfied that goes with being human? Where is that now? I'm encouraging you to be able to be aware of different realms, different viewpoints of consciousness, different layers of the construct of consciousness at the same time. Where identity itself is gone. And the middle ground is, yeah, that's my true nature. In the story of consciousness, I am pure awareness. I am pure consciousness. And there's the human self that has the capacity to be dissatisfied with everything, that will do its best to tear down even this exercise, that'll do its best to question it and doubt you, and that's what it's going to do. Can you see it from a really serious distance? Where there's just love for it, simply love for it. Beautiful part of the matrix. We know that when there's identification with story, that we're identified with that point of view. My point of view is personal. And then in that middle ground, it's not personal. And there's a point of view, and then there's the other person's point of view, and it's okay. We're able to hold both. As we get deeper into it, our true nature is there. And then we're aware of all of that. And there's no local viewing point. No local viewing point. But what is still there is identification with true nature. In that zone, you're looking from everywhere and you're not looking from any fixed place. Can't quite anchor into it because it's nebulous and refined and a felt sense in your body. There's no story there, so there's no location there. And in that zone, we're aware of it, we can be aware. And there's no fixed point of view. And remove any identity with all of those stories. No little you, no big you. No personal you, no impersonal you. No true nature. No divine essence. Nada. And watch the mind if it goes, I'm disappointed in that idea, because that's what it's going to do. Nothing. 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 Can't even say never was, never will be. Like nothing. And now my human self has no clue where to go next. What do? Go back into story? Try and bring nothing into what is being imagined? Don't work. Doesn't work. Nothing. Let it cycle through however it wants to cycle through. Human aspect will still imagine itself to go on. Identification with our essence, our divine beingness will go on. While there is nothing. Let any attachment to your divine essence be seen through. Let it go. Even though it's hugely important for getting distance from your identified self, it's hugely important for that. Useful tool. Is it truth? No. Chuck the concept of truth too, huh? It's another anchor that we like to rely on. There's nothing. When some people get this, sometimes they roar laughing because their body is trying to lift its vibration to get out of it. And some people fall asleep because there's no place of ease where the body-mind mechanism can hear these words, follow the pointers, recognize what I'm talking about, and still stay awake. It's like there isn't enough attention, there isn't enough bandwidth. And so resources are shut down in the body because somewhere it's a threat to know that there's nothing. There's nothing. So notice what's going on in your own body, mind,